Eye cup. That's pretty cute. Get your eyes put on your cups. But then you're always looking at yourself when... Good day, my dear friends. We're going to continue down on a new video now, so that one won't be too long. It's already a couple hours. But I just have to grab and go right now. I humbly hope you bear with me until I can get things straightened out. We're just insane with the things that's going on, the new projects, new stuff. Wow. We got all kinds of new laminated materials, from the God Whirls to the, it's about ready to be printed. We've got a new food chart on the foods to eat. And then I have a new chart coming out on the 5 top worst foods you could possibly consume. So it's a nice little chart you can hand someone, and they could read about why we don't recommend this, this, and this, the top worst things you can consume as a human. But let me see, what do we got new out here? Anything new? I mean, we're just doing so much research. I left it at home, but there's a study out on the people that are diagnosed with cancer that doesn't even have cancer from medical perspective, and all the people that have been conned into taking chemo. And this article goes on about chemo being a huge business, of course. I forget how many $1 billion a year business, and that a lot of people get chemo that shouldn't get it because they are close to the category or whatever, and medical doctors love the money, whatever. But it's a good article on that. Shows a lot of suffering and stuff. But it's sad stuff, but they shouldn't be shocked. Medical doctors are giving chemo to psoriasis patients. I had a young girl, she was 19 or something, in here for something, maybe even the psoriasis, and she says, "Oh, I'm on chemo for it." I said, "You're what?" See, these people need to go to jail. And that way you can sit down, have some time to yourself, and think things over, and maybe learn meditation, and learn what you don't do. Maybe take some classes. Maybe we could go into some prisons and teach some classes on what you don't do to others. Not just for our sake and their sake and the people's sake, but for the practitioner's sake itself. Look at the karma that's being created by these individuals, and of course, again, they'll have to come and keep spinning for it. But in the meantime, the effect on so many people. If you have an effect on a lot of people, you wanted a positive one because of the blowback on yourself. Remember, cause and effect rules everything. So you young ones watching this, remember, whatever you put out, it's going to come back to you. So if you get mad and hurt others, it's going to come right back at you. If you love others and treat others nice, then that's what you get back. See, so you always want the good stuff coming back at you, because the other stuff doesn't make you feel too good. All right, so here's a question by JT. It's a female, 28 years young. I am writing today to ask about swollen lymph nodes and low vitamin D. And we stop right there almost. Swollen lymph nodes? No. The past couple of years I had swollen hard lymph nodes. Remember, when it's hard, that's not good, right? That shows extended time of acidosis, and that is what agglomulation is all about. Things dehydrate and get hard as a rock. Much harder to deal with than soft, pliable lymph nodes. So, get this. These lymph nodes on her neck on both sides, and then I found some on the back of my neck. Now listen, in oncology there is no survival rates with esophageal cancers. So when you see your lymph nodes swollen on your neck, that's when you immediately salute, put yourself on a raw food program, put yourself on a grape fast, and tell the cooked and dead animal stuff you'll be back. But right now, you need the raw, you need the fruit juices or the fruits to get this out of here. You want to honk down on your adrenals and kidneys, honk down on your GI tract with these herbs and with the raw foods. You don't leave swollen lymph nodes on your neck to the point of getting hard, because remember, they're septic tanks with thousands of cells feeding into each one of them. So when a lymph node's hard, your septic tank is not working. So that means all the cells on the other side of the septic tank that feed their metabolitic waste into the lymph node or septic tank, it isn't happening. So you're getting a mild form of lymphedema at first, only to see everything swell way out of proportion in the future. See, this stuff builds and builds like a hiding cat in the woods. It builds and builds and builds to the moment it springs. And that's when you get it. It's like, bam, well, how did this happen? Well, as you said, you've been having them there for a while. And this is the problem with all lymphedemic and all lymphatic problems. There's only one real group that knows about it, and that's us. Everyone else is staggering out there blind and hasn't a clue. So this is vital to focus on that system. What system are you detoxing when you detox anyway? Blood, that's minor fluid. Remember, interstitial fluid, 20% blood, 80% lymph. So, my dear one, JT, you get these friggin' things out of your throat. They have gone down a lot. Good. Okay, that's a good sign. It's a good sign, obviously, when you get on the raw, you get on the juices, and you get on the herbs, and they start going down. That's what you want, obviously. If they're not going down, that's when you really got to focus. Am I filtering? What do I have to do to get my kidneys functioning better? How do I get my lymph hydrated more? What am I doing? Can I add? Can I do this? Because no matter what, you don't want hardened lymph nodes sticking out on your neck or anywhere else in your body for that matter, but particularly on the neck. Everything's up here, and nothing can come down, so big problem. They have gone down a lot, but I still have low vitamin D. Well, that doesn't mean anything. And elevated inflammation. Well, elevated inflammation, my dear one, is a product of lymph stagnation. That inflammation is your body's immune response to these acids, and also dietary acids, to be honest with you. So between your dietary acids and your metabolitic acids, that's a lot of acids. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Your diet's supposed to be predominantly base on top of acid waste. There's always has to be that balance between the two sides of chemistry. If acids dominate, your life is hell, your life is inflamed, your life is pain, and your life can be over. Just saying. Excuse me. Now, they've gone down a lot. The vitamin D, don't worry about it. Get out in the sun more. Even indirect lighting. Interface with that. Clean the lymph system so you can produce more vitamin D. That sort of thing. You can always supplement it, but you're supplementing something that you need to get out in the sun and get. And can you recommend some exercises to move the lymph fluid and how to increase vitamin D naturally? Well, vitamin D easily go out in the sun, but you'll produce more when you clean yourself more. And I'll tell you this, there's no exercises for this. You got to get your kidneys filtering. What we've been talking about in the last video, you got to get your kidneys filtering and get all this moving and hydrated, because that's the only way you're successful at moving lymph. You're not successful at attacking vitamin D's and all these other things. This lymph system is a big friggin' deal. This is your kidney and adrenal glands. This is your systemic waste and the way out. Your skin is affected, your urinary tract affected, your ovaries, everything's affected. Everything. So you really want to get to the higher level of detox. Since their lymph nodes are hard, you want to get on only fruits, berries, and melons. Forget the other food for a few months. So who cares? It's only a few months. Where's your backbones? Get in there. Get those fruits down there. Make sure they're ripe and sweet as you can get. If they're too bitter or sour, don't take them. unless you're going on a lemon fast or a grapefruit fast. But even those you want ripe as possible. You want the good Meyer lemons really, really ripe. Anything unripe, including lemons, are going to be a lot more acidic. And you don't want that. My current vitamin D level is 17 and my nodes are still stiff. And my nodes are not stiff anymore. Woohoo! Good job, JT. I have been coughing up a lot of phlegm lately. That's what these lymph nodes are full of. So good job, man. Good job. Vitamin D will come up nicely, but if you keep digging in and digging into that lymph system, it's just what you need to do. Make sure these hard now softs are gone, gone, gone. And then you're done, done, done. And you got a life. Outside of that, you're just waiting for throat cancer to just take you out. And that's not fun. Tosha. Hello, Dr. Morse. Thank you so much for all the knowledge and inspiration. Thank you, Tosha. I'm 23 and have ESRD. I've been on hemodialysis. Oh, God, here it is. And we're talking about this. The younger you are, the more in trouble you are. It isn't the older people. They're always in trouble. But the younger you are. Boy, look at this. This poor sweet thing's on hemodialysis for over 2 years this time. I've been transplanted before, but I can't hack the pills. I rejected and the graft was extracted. I was on dialysis for almost 2 years prior to my transplant. I no longer make urine for the past 2 years now. I went vegan and now I'm only eating fruits. I've been feeling better and have so much hope. Wow, Tosha, honey. Okay, sweetie. Here's the catch-22 with this problem. Catch-22. Hemodialysis creates the stopping, if you will, of urine. That's not good. The problem for us healers is when you stop urinating altogether. That's serious. And dialysis always seems to do that to you. So the very procedure of dialysis is so unhealthy itself. So here's the problem. You got to stay on your fruits, your berries, and melons. It's a lot of liquid. I wouldn't juice them. I just eat them. Because the more water you produce, the more you have to eliminate. Unless you're sweating like a banshee, then you're going to be uncomfortable. The other side of this is we got to get you peeing and filtering. Because the reason you go down is the lack of filtration, and then the kidneys start to deteriorate, the creatinine soars and everything else. Because now all the acids you're supposed to be filtering are in-house. So this is a big problem, sweetheart, and you're going to have to work on that. And this is where you do need the herbs, and I might even go as far as saying kidney glandulars. You didn't mention your creatinine levels and all this sort of thing. You've been on it before. You're only 23 years old. I would really take off. Remember the adrenal gland connection. You got to work on your adrenal glands. Your blood pressure and blood sugars can be affected with this very thing. With that said, I would stay on fruits, berries, and melons. Maybe light on the melons because of so much juice. But once you get yourself urinating and you're peeing again, you want to get yourself off of dialysis. Because we'll get you filtering. That'll change the stats, bring the creatinines down. But your goal is to get peeing again. And there's not a lot of suggestions here other than your fruits, dry fasting, things like this maybe. See if that'll work to pop you some urination going. But the kidney formulas, herbal formulas to me are essential. And really keep working on these kidneys, honey, to get yourself filtering again. Because, or at least peeing again. Once you can produce urine again, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we can move you away from dialysis, even if we just did dialysis maybe Monday and Friday. But you really got to get away from dialysis. As sick as this is, this will take you down. It makes you lose your kidneys altogether because you're no longer filtering the waste. And of course, the blood That's not your lymph system. So you're cleaning the blood, but you're not cleaning your lymph system. So your body just keeps going downhill, downhill, downhill because you're doing nothing to fix the lymph. They don't understand the lymph. They don't understand the kidneys are the lymphatic organs of the body. And when they go down, your sewer system goes down. And they don't get that. And as long as they don't get that, and of course they wouldn't know how to make them work anyway. See, the whole field is oxymoron. The whole medical field is disturbing. They don't know how to fix anything. They don't know how to use the proper ingredients to do that. The pharmaceutical worlds are exploding with lawsuits and everything else because they're killing so many people. It's a nightmare. And you got an attitude like that one guy that bought a pharmaceutical company and increased this one pill 200% or something. You got attitudes like that. Narcissism that's unreachable, that's just karmic as hell on that person, but also can be devastating to a lot of others. It isn't about the money at all, and it should never be in the health field. When it is, you're screwed. Because then you're the one that gets beat up because everybody's helping you because of the money, and that's just not how. Good healer is not about the money. That'll come, but you've got to help people. That's your number one focus. You remember, this is a God thing. So, honey, all my love to you, and keep working on this and get yourself out of this. Get those kidneys peeing. Peeing first and then filtration next. So you can use some water fasting, but I use the fruit juices. I use astringents, particularly like lemons, grapes, your subacid, acid fruits, and see if you can get these things opened up. Use the kidney herbs, the adrenals, remember the adrenal connection, and really keep working on that, honey. I would do only one lymphatic formula. And I'd probably make it a capsule. You could do a lymph node tincture, I guess, but a capsule because that'll help clean your bowels as well and give you just a little in the kidneys, just enough to help clean them. Because remember, it's the lymph system in the kidneys that become the problem as well. Not just the kidney, it's the lymph system, the whole thing. They're the filtering of this system. Hate to hear that. But you got to get yourself back peeing. And that is a challenge when you stop peeing under dialysis, because now you're in a catch-22 like nobody's business, and it's horrible. Horrible. And just imagine, guys, if you can't pee anymore. That's why always take care of your kidneys, because just imagine if you can't hold urine, what you feel like when your bladder's full and you just can't, you know what I'm saying? None of that is fun. It's all horrible. So, everybody work on their kidneys and adrenals. There's an adrenal question right here. My name is I don't know how to pronounce that correctly. And my question is to you is that I suffer from PTSD and my adrenals are weak. Yep. Which I am taking adrenal booster called Maca from a natural health food store. That's not an adrenal booster. They tout this crap like Maca and some of this stuff. This is a tuber. Excuse me. There's nothing adrenal increasing about it. People push stuff and some weird stuff out there. It's amazing to me. You want, for your adrenal glands, you want things like, of course, they don't like borage, the FDA, of course, but your Siberian ginsengs, your parsleys, that sort of dandelion root or leaves, things like this to really open up the adrenals. Licorice, things like this, not Maca. Thank you for all your work on spirit. Oh, thanks, honey. Thanks. Nathalie? Something like that. Anyway, you want a booster. You want to get into your parsleys and your borages and things for the adrenal glands like that. Siberian ginseng, stuff for the glands like that. All your berries are good for that. PTSD, huh? Okay, so I'll tell you what. You want to get, not only see where your adrenals are down, but your kidneys are down, and that's why. So you've got to get your kidneys filtering. There's only one way to get rid of PTSD is to get your kidneys filtering. It's the only way. And you got to get your adrenals up to get your kidneys filtering. It goes on and on and on like that. Also, you might consider your pituitary gland a little bit. Take a picture of your eyes and see how you do. doing a kidney cleanse, first I'd keep after my kidneys, not just a kidney cleanse. I'd keep after them with the kidney cleanse comes with the fruits, but the enhancement of kidney tissue comes with the botanicals, and that's what you want. You want to enhance kidney tissue, urinary tract tissue, bladder, kidneys, the tubes, everything. So yeah, I would go after that for sure. But I would go to an adrenal formula. If you have running low blood pressure with this, sweetheart, get your hook, piggyback a licorice root on there. Because licorice really kicks up the medulla, which is your neurotransmitters. So your blood pressure goes up. But then that'll help kick the cortex, which is your corticosteroids. Cortex, remember, is the outer part of a tissue. Your medullas are always the inner core. Each produces their own different things. This is, hello, I was wondering what Dr. Morse received his doctorate in. I just watched a couple of his videos, and I want to make sure I can trust what he is saying. You know what? You know what my answer to that one is? Don't trust what I'm saying. You know what? You figure it out yourself. You start thinking and get beyond thought and start looking at things. Because if you're relying on just the verbiage of somebody, not good. You want to understand what they're talking about. You want to understand totally what I'm talking about. And I can tell you, most of this I didn't get in school. I'm a naturopathic degreed, a biochemistry degreed. I'm degreed in about 4 things. But it doesn't matter, because I could be degreed out the butt and not know a thing, not know how to heal anybody, and that's what I'm trying to prove to you guys, is that you don't have to be degreed to learn how to take someone from hellville to wellville. That's our forte. So you could consider me with no degrees. Who cares? Am I speaking truth from 40-some years of experience with working others? If I'm not, and you don't like what I'm saying, go somewhere else. There's plenty of other people. But if this resonates, which one of you have been suffering all your life, you know this resonates. That's what you want. You want to understand what I'm saying. You want to work this out. You want to understand the body, how it works. You want to understand basic chemistry. You want to understand a little bit of this and how it works. So don't trust in what I'm saying. Thanks. Know what I'm saying. Okay? Because this is how you get yourself from hellville to wellville. And if you have any awareness at all and you've been in the health field, you'll know totally what I'm saying is true. You know, but it's true for my clients. Tracey. I am on 45 milligrams of armour thyroid. Armour thyroid is natural T4. Armour thyroid is a natural hormone of thyroxine, as opposed to synthroid and levothyroxine. These are not natural. These are synthetic T3s that have to be converted to thyroxine. These are iodine thyroxide or whatever you call that. And now they put me on a bioidentical hormones made of wild yams. Well, wild yams really isn't really for the thyroid. That's supposed to replace or help you with cortisol levels. That's the adrenal glands. So, you know, they look like they're giving you a bioidentical. In other words, they're trying to work on multiple glands simultaneously, which you would want wild yam as a progesterone type cream as opposed to a progesterone itself. Now, we were using progesterone creams and wild yam creams for low progesterone levels. We learned a lot years and years and years and years and years ago. You know, Dr. Lee's works on estrogen dominance was good and important, because until he came out with that work, a lot of people really didn't, you know, especially medical doctors, they were giving estrogen on top of to estrogen dominant women. They just saw everything as an estrogen problem, and women were low in it and they were giving it. So then you have all kinds of hell breaking loose with women that are highly acidic, and you're giving them more acids, like chemo on top of acidosis. So that now when Lee came out and he said, well, wait a minute, I got to look at the chemistry of this. So he looked at the chemistry of estrogen and progesterone, and he realized, wait a minute, estrogen's acidic, hello, progesterone is base. So they each are each other's neutralizers. Okay? So, but that doesn't fix anything. That just brings about an awareness finally to the medical community that you don't give estrogen all the time. The progesterone is a lot of the problems. So it's just like, but I don't know how well that helped its own field, when it came out with that. I am not comfortable with any of this, and I wouldn't be comfortable with that. Any bioidentical, I don't care what. There was a couple of medical doctors at one of our classes, real nice people, man and wife, I think it was, and their livelihood was recommending bioidentical steroids or hormones. And I talked with them. I said, I understand that sounds like a step up. And I guess if you looked at how traditional medical doctors were treating women, it is a step up. But both of those steps are devastating to particularly women, but men as well. You don't give testosterone, you don't give estrogen, you don't give progesterone, you don't give cortisol, you don't give steroids, hormones, and the like. You don't do that because the future is not kind to you. It's not kind to you because when you take it, your body flatly kicks back and stops making it. And then when you stop taking it, guess what? You get hit. And there is a point where you weaken them so much that they're very ineffective. So this becomes, and their dosages start going up and up and up. Wrong way to do this. If you have low thyroid, make sure it's not the pituitary, a TSH problem. All right? So if you have a weakened thyroid, fix it. How do you fix weaknesses in the human body? How do you fix congestion in the human body? Acidosis. How do you fix this? Well, you start to strengthen. Well, how do you strengthen the human body? Well, the human body is made of cells, right? And two fluids. The two fluids take care of the cells, right? So the cells' vitality, if you will, their morphology basically is dictated through their genetic memories, or lack thereof, however, but how they respond and how they get weakened genetic memories or strengthened genetic memories is by consumption, dietary habits, lifestyle. Not by some voodoo medical concepts, lifestyle. And we are a frugivore species, so when you start cleaning out the acids and enhancing, your cells start rebuilding. That's how you rebuild thyroids. Now, you can use a glandular, which is raw tissue, desiccated tissue, like tissue. So, thyroid glandular is desiccated raw thyroid tissue. Raw thyroid tissue desiccated. And that is still alive, still has magnetics, and still has shown to go to these tissues and affect a response. And they've done this with radioactive isotopes, and these are subatomic particles. So we know that at least the subatomic particles are getting to the related glands and enhancing the function of these cells. Non-hormonal, non-steroidal, that's what you would do instead of bioidentical hormones or steroids. For me, I might do that to give you a kick, but then I'm going to switch to the herbs and I'm going to start cleaning and enhancing the cells by getting after the fluids in the body. You're going to change the nutritional energetic to a cell by going raw. That's a big hit to things that are weak. Here comes the energy, here comes the nutrition. That's a big hit to weak cells. Because people traditionally eat dead cooked food and lots of protein. That's a hit to the cells. But a great big energy ball and nutrition, that's all come love me. That picks up a cell's function. But if it's got cell poop and acids all around it and it can't get rid of it, that's the problem. So you have two fluids to consider. You got to feed, but you got to clean the waste. So I would, for me, I would be using a glandular, but I would want to know whether my pituitary is down on my thyroid. That's TSH, and you want to look at TSH. If TSH is too low, that's a serious problem. And it's not just the thyroid that's low, it's your pituitary that's low, and you have to address the pituitary to really get a bump on the thyroid, because you can address the thyroid, and the pituitary is the problem. So you've got to be a little smart. This is only when our sight has a little extra thinking power to it, is the relationship between the glands themselves. And when you're talking about the pituitary hypothalamus area, that is the master area. And so that's kind of like the signaler, the dictator to all the other glands. I have a good diet, but always room for improvement. Vegetarian, do not drink or smoke, only drink water and home brew kombucha. Well, I'll tell you, kick it up to a fruitarian lifestyle and get this cleaned out, and you'll see your thyroid. But if it is pituitary, then you know your transverse bowels and done. Eyes, eye picks. Man, that's where you get to see. You get to really see yourself. Just hit a cell phone camera getting a neat eye pick, and we've got the videos to show you how to read them. Or come to our iridology classes, and then you are one smart puppy. Then you know how to identify all the weaknesses and how to fix them. I mean, there's no one out there doing this, guys. So let the naysayers be the naysayers. Who cares? You know, truth rings truth, and if you got awake to hear truth, I don't care who tells me truth. I don't care what degree you have. Truth resonates with me no matter what. You don't have to be a master, some big angelic being to speak truth. Sometimes the truth comes out of the babes, you know. So, you know, people are so full of academic bullcrap and wondering if people are degreed up. And the sad part about it, there's so many people that made it through school just barely. You better ask me what grades did I make in school instead of did I go to school? Because it doesn't sound like I know what I'm talking about, does it? Didn't think so. We've only taken tens of thousands of people from Hellville to Wellville at all levels. That's all you need to know. And that's what I'm trying to show this world. You, housewives, carpenters, I don't care who you are out there. You can help cure everybody of everything. It's simple. And why do you need a degree to understand the body? It's our academic bullcrap we have out there. Some of you look at all the academically inclined people who went to school for years and now they're bussing tables. I had a young lady. She was telling me she just graduated from some really cool school. She's got a doctorate, bussing tables. Doctorate, bussing tables. But. So move yourself up a little bit. Think about that. Go after the thyroid and pituitary. You can do the endocrine gland formula as well. But what system do you always want to go after? No matter what we're talking about, how you deal with specific tissues like thyroids or whatever. What do we want to always remember? That detoxification is your golden key to unlock the stagnation that suppresses or enhances the function. Hypo. You got to go through the door of the lymph every time, and you'll be successful every time. You go through the blood and ignore the lymph, you're rarely successful. This is Tracey. Hey, Tracey, honey. The left side of my body has had crazy things happening past few years. Now, how interesting that. And I'm glad you brought that up, Tracey, because this just shows you the importance of 2 kidneys, 1 for each side. So you medical doctors and surgeons that think you can borrow somebody's kidney, they can give up 1 kidney, that's no big deal. It is a big deal. Why don't you guys start learning how you rebuild tissue instead of cutting out tissue? Compromising the patients for their life and the person that gave up their kidney. Like the mom going to give her son one of her kidneys? Are you serious? The same family tree, particularly the mother? I don't know where these guys come from. I have no idea where these guys get their awareness. That's what I want to know. What school did you go to? Harvard? Huh? And that's what you learned? Okay, so you know that each kidney is genetically different than the other kidney. Always, everybody's different. So one side of your body can filter halfway, and your other side not filter at all. So everything just seems to happen. Tumors on this side, breast size difference, hand size, feet size, this side growth difference, legs 2 inches shorter. Your one side can be stunted in growth, the other side goes. But everybody has 2 sides to it. You have 2 thyroids, 4 parathyroids, you got all kinds of stuff. I know it. I feel it through when I say that I say that to a doctor. I am sure they think I'm weird. Oh, absolutely. I would like to be a fly on the wall and just watch a medical doctor's reaction to you saying that. That'd be interesting to find out. I am now losing sight. Oh, no. All right, I am now losing sight in left eye. No, no, no. Because you have to get your kidneys working, because that left kidney is the one that's not filtering worth a heck. And you want to get this going. You don't want to lose your sight in that eye. Upper circ, brain and nerve. Go, that's what I would do. Upper circ, brain and nerve. I take the eye wash and start washing my eyes morning and evening in an eye cup. Skin temperature water, maybe 12 drops. Boop, 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 boop. But I'd also take it internally. The other thing you could do is it depends. You could be a lot of mucus there that needs to come out. It could you could be, breaking down the retina or whatever. So upper circum, brain and nerve, eye washes, but what do you want to go after? Your lymphatic system always. Always, always. And make it sound like a redundant cliche. Oh man, you're always saying the same thing. Oh good, thanks. Because that's the system that's hurting us. You go after that system and you're clean. Doctor says some valley in an optic nerve is filling in with dead cells. What? Doctor says some valley in an optic nerve is filling in with dead cells. Doesn't know why, not hereditary. Optic nerve filling in with dead cells. Well, in other words, basically, this guy doesn't know what the heck you're suffering from. Basically. I mean, give me a break. That's a good one. If I don't have optical surgery, I will go blind. It cannot be corrected with a lens, so I just had to spend $575 on glasses that do not work. But I do see well out of right eye. Love you guys. Love you too, Tracey. Listen, honey, you could even take some eye tissue. Take some eye tissue if you wanted to enhance eye tissue function, but any type of deterioration there of the eye or optic nerve thereof is the lymph system and acidosis. And this could be coming right back from the cerebellum. It doesn't have to be in the eye, the optic nerve, or anything like that. Remember, the optic nerves swing around, cross, and then recross back here. So it could be the cerebellum. I mean, it's your lymph system. We have stiff, tight shoulders and necks. Look at that. These are lymph systems, and this is acidosis. So the only system, you can fix this right now. Don't go any further. Honk on your lymph detox. And at the same time, you're moving blood up in here, you're moving lymph out of here, you're enhancing, the brain and nerve is enhancing the optic nerves, the circulation formula is moving oxygenated blood and nutrition right to the cells more. You're getting a pathway to open. You got to open up this pathway down through here and down the back. You can use your neurolymphatic points, hot and cold compresses to the face and eyes. Don't go down and go take it down. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of bags up the tricks up the sleeves. So work on those things. Candle your ears. Take the pressure out of there. Do these things like that. At least 3 candles per ear. If you never candled your ears, candle your ears. Open it up. People are afraid of everything out there. So some people are afraid of candling your ear. Anybody ever had their ears candled? How soft and gentle that is? Let me ask you, would you rather candle your ears or eat poop pills? Oh. Oh. So work on it, Tracey, and get this turned around here. You don't want to lose that vision, but you got to fix that whole left side because everything's in line here. Breast, ovaries, part of the uterine wall. I mean, everything's up for grabs here, honey. Don't want to have trouble. Oh, this is April. April, that's my birthday month. April. Love you much, Dr. Morse. Love you too, April. What do you recommend for folks in a northern climate as far as fruits? I live in a small town in northern Minnesota. Oh, man. Northern Minnesota, huh? Wow. Well, that's tropical. Woo-wee! The fruit shipped here is most often unripe. Yeah, I know. I feel for you, honey. You know what my suggestion is? Move out. Move to Florida. Although we're so populated down here, but you know what? I don't know what the answer is in these northern climates. You have to hunt your food, and getting ripe food up there, you know this gig is. You know what the gig is. And it's just like, I don't know what to say about it. You know, it's disgusting. That's something I just don't know what to say about it. I'm for the pyramid greenhouses everywhere around the world where people can have decent fruits grown in pyramid greenhouses and veggies if you want them. We could plant that anywhere. You could put a pyramid greenhouse anywhere in the desert. You can plant it anywhere. You know, all this money being spent. Oh my God! You know, if the World Bank ever wakes up to spirituality, maybe they could turn things around and do some good instead of bringing the planet down. They could bring it up. Maybe start generating some good karma so they won't reincarnate so much and steal back to the planet again. It's really pathetic, I know it. It's hard to even find ripe apples in northern Minnesota. Hard to find ripe. Isn't that sad? Can't even find friggin' and that's Midwest, Indiana. Oh, we have apples all over the place. Look at that crap. I feel for you. But short of moving to a warmer state, this is what I have to work with. Any suggestions? Well, there are companies now. Diamond Organics closed down because of the FDA, I think. But there are some companies that ship good, you know, fruit more ripe, more organic. So you just have to Google them, I guess, because I don't know. The FDA is just... Anyway, it's just some of that, I don't know what to tell you. You just look for the ripest stuff you can. Any frozen organics from health food stores, you could go to that route. You do your best. Bananas are pretty much, the nutrition is there, but they're not great detoxifiers, but you do what you can. You do what you can. If you have to, slip down to some green drinks. You know, if you can't get ripe fruit, because it would almost be better, I hate to say this, but it must be better to do green drinks as opposed to unripe, very acidic fruit. Because you just, you know, the mouth and everything else is involved, and also the body. I mean, it's acidic. I'm familiar with mono eating and have toyed with that if I find a particular fruit. Yeah, you know, that one too. Wearing on me emotionally. You know, I can understand that. And you can see now that we're understanding more about the types of food that's designed for us, and people are actually eating fruit for once in their lives. Oh, this stuff's good. No kidding. I mean, there's people that have never eaten fruit. That's amazing. But we're coming. The human race is coming up, I think, really. All you guys are helping, and everybody's helping, and I think it's on its way up. But there's still so much stuff that has to be worked out on a negative scale yet, I think. Yeah. So I'm hoping that we can change some of these things that the Hopis and the Sioux were taught, and that Nostradamus was talking about biblically and all that. We might be able to just infuse enough souls to at least hone that a little bit. Johan, I'm a huge fan of your videos, and I'm a huge fan of you, my friend. Thanks a lot for tuning in, okay? They are very interesting, so thankful for the knowledge you share with us. Yeah, I get a little quirky once in a while, too. You know, after you're doing so many of these videos, you know, it's redundant a lot of times. But I tell you, I have never, this is my 44th, 45th year, I've never, ever got tired of this. Never really burned out. I've gotten so busy, you burn out from busy. But when you see everything as God manifesting individually, it changes your perception of things. And I just love helping any part of creation get itself well and happy and healthy. It's what helps one helps us all. That's what people don't get. What hurts one hurts us all. What helps one helps us all. Remember the little pebble in the ocean. When you throw it in, the ripples go out all around the world. Thanks, my friend. On another note, I might have a solution for the timestamp thing. Oh, that'd be great. Here it is. Use a timer beside you, and when you're going to read a question, you just note it. Oh, well, that's a good idea. That would save some time, I think, but it might also get in the way of the flow you have. I don't know. Well, you know, it's a good thought. I'm watching my clock here sometimes to see. But I could time that for them. It would make a big difference, I guess, and write the time on there. You know what? I'll ask him. I'll ask Drew. Drew's doing the time stamping now for Chris. So let me ask him. But that's a pretty dang good idea. Let me write this. What do you think? It's a good suggestion. A little more work on my part, but I might be to help them out a little bit. They're going to move to New York. Chris and Drew, they're going to still do this up in New York for us, but Chris and Drew, they love New York. They're New Yorkers, and they love New York City. They love not having a car. They love the city life, and they love it. So they're going to go in July, I think it is. Hey, Phil. How you doing, Phil? Dr. Morse gets around to doing his iridology book, or maybe a video. Could he show us what a good eye looks like, or a perfect eye looks like? Let's see. I tried to show you one before. I don't think you'll ever see a perfect eye. I'll hang there 2 seconds, guys, and see if I can find one that's pretty strong. All right, this is pretty strong. But you're just not going to find a totally healthy eye because it just doesn't exist. But, excuse me, this is as close as you can get. Now, these are called trabecula, and there are 23,000 or more of these little trabecula or fibers. They're blood, nerve, and lymph fibers with connective tissue tied to them. And these nerve fibers all are what registers your body's weaknesses or your lymph system. Your lymph system is registered by a thickness on top of these fibers. And I'll show you an eye that reflects this. You see how thick and white all this stuff is here? This is a dairy farmer's eye. Heavy milk and ice cream. He has an ice cream plant. So see how thick this mucus is? This white stuff? That's thick, thick, thick mucus. You just go on fruits and you'll have mucus come in every hole you got. This, on the other hand, is not that much mucus. There's enough in here, and you see the yellowing? That's subacute stages. When this eye starts moving toward the chronic stages, if it does, it'll start turning brown in places. Now, these trabecula are very tight and very close, where in this one you see a few little patterns. And in this brown eye, you see a lot more of those patterns right around here. Those are the lacunas or the weaknesses. Here's some more weaknesses in these patterns, in the fibers, in these trabecula. When you see a pattern, that's a weakness. They're called lacunas. The crypts are deep, dark ones. No big deal. Flower, you can call them fiber patterns, lesions, whatever you want. We iridologists tend to use lesions. But that's a strong one. Those fibers in your eye are strong. That's important. The lymph system exposes itself as coloration on top of that. So here's a good example. This is a blue eye, same one you've been looking at, but look at all this colorations. The orange is sulfur, the brown is chronic lymph, and all these others are drug deposits. Some iodine, yellowish, reddish brown. And you see this big skin ring? It's a weakness. See how that dark skin ring all the way around the outside? So you want fibers to be nice and tight together, and you don't want to have very many of these, particularly down here where the kidneys are. Get yourself an iris chart. Take a look at them. Of course, when you're a bad surgeon and you do a cataract or surgery on an eye and you damage it, this is what happens. They had to actually make a new pupil and screw it in. But this is all cholesterol. That white hazy stuff around the outside of the eye, if you've got it, you get it out, or you get on circulation form, your stroke, heart attacks. Here's another cholesterol, even more. Look at all that thick white stuff. See all this thick? They already had cataract surgery to pull this out of the eye. This is all cholesterol. When it gets in the eye, it's cataracts, and it's all just from acidosis. How's that, Phil? Best I can do in such a short order, my friend. Well, this is the eye. This is a good size. This is my old camera, Jensen's camera. I like this size of an eye. If you can, different cameras are different. See how nice that is? This new camera we bought from the same company was too much. You almost lost your holistic view. It was so much in the fibers that you lost your lymph a lot, and that's not what you want. Now here's something to look at. Now if you can see this where I've drawn this line around here, this is the bowel wall. In iridology, they call it the autonomic wreath. I disagree with that. This is actually your bowel wall. If you have autonomic problems, nervous problems, you'll have nerve rings. This is thick lymph in the wall here, and you'll see a brown malabsorption ring immediately on the outside of your pupil. All this thick stuff gets impacted in. Now this is interstitial. This is in the wall. You could have some pocketed areas like here and some impactions, but we're talking interstitial constipation. That means the fluid around the cell is stagnant, the lymph. And then you start compromising the ability to get the blood to the cell, but also, of course, the inability of the cells to eliminate their waste. But I'd like to get that iridology book done, but again, it's another book to write, and I'm in the midst of the Illusion Called Disease book. And I'm just in the midst of so many different things. But important for you iridologists to learn clinical iridology, the proper clinical iridology. And it's got a lot different than what you think. You should be able to look at an eye and tell me exactly what's wrong with that person and tell me exactly what you're going to do to fix them. That's what I expect out of an iridologist that I train. I want you to know what you're doing. Because we have to make these fields that are kind of hanging out there by a shoestring, we want to solidify them because they're so great in what they can help us learn. They're so great. So in the 50 years it was in the medical hands, there was some good improvements. I guess Lindlar probably had the most of them all. But really, I mean, everybody had some differences from Dr. Collins to Lang to all of those. Jensen is really the one that refined it. And then here comes Ellen with her narcissism, thinking that she can just take his charts and revise. I love that chart, iridology chart by Bernard Jensen, revisions by Ellen Jensen. Where the hell, Ellen, do you ever think you've got the kind of brains that overdid Doc? There's no way. I know who you are, and I know what Doc thought of you, and I can't believe you did that. You're insulting the great man. If you want to make your own Irish chart, make your own Irish chart. Stick your name on it. But to stick Jensen and then your name there, that's narcissism. Narcissism, especially when you put a German iridology chart, you just insulted Doc, and that's your joke to him. And I know what he thought of you, and you know what he thought of you too. And so that's your little get back at him. And don't be surprised if I come forward then, because you are insulting the great man, and that's unwise of you. Sorry, guys. Just had to get that off of my chest. I don't particularly care for that individual because she's scarring Dr. Jensen's name. And personal friend, I know exactly what he thought of German iridology and know exactly what he thought of Ellen. You know, misinformation of people that don't know how to cure or heal anything. They don't even know what causes anything. And these people are out writing things and making people think they do. Wow. All right, this is a little bit of a long one. But I got to read it because this, I think, from what the first of it is. All right, let me read it. I'll get back to you, honey. Hang on a minute. I am studying iridology for certification. What is one of the cheapest and easiest of the best iriscopes and software to use? You know what? Get a hold of Krystl because we've been reviewing them and trying to find for ourselves. I just wish the company that was building Jensen's old cameras would go back to them because all you need is a different camera with a chip in it. Get away from the film, but don't hook it to a computer. When you start hooking cameras to computers, you just mess with the quality altogether, and then some of them are just out of sight. So we just bought one. It's looking pretty nice. So I think it would be better off to talk to Krystl, and he can give you some names of our researchers and stuff like that. There's a lot of cameras overseas, too. So, and I heard there's a real cheap camera out there you can use. It's fairly decent. So I have to look into it myself. Really, I haven't been involved in looking for cameras except here lately. So I don't know if I can help you with that. But if you're taking iridology certification, sometime spring it and come to our clinical iridology class. I think you're going to really appreciate the difference. Here there I am, a 21-year-old male. I can just hear you now, Rich. I like that. I love you. I love your personality already. And I'm slowly losing my hair. Yeah, isn't that sad? I'm telling you, it's scary, 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 scary. I saw about a 21-year-old waiter the other day in a restaurant. Patch is gone. Patch is gone. I just wanted to, I just never know what to interfere in someone's space or not. I just want to go here, I look at these videos to show you how to put on hair again, because what it means when it's coming off. When you can rake your dandruff off your head like that one person was talking about, scary. That's all acids. And they'll break down the hair follicles every time. I mean, you're not only breaking down hair follicles, what else you got up there? Okay? So you got the scalp and all that, but inside, so yeah, my friend Rich, you must go after this. Upper circulation, but get your sinuses and everything cleaned up. That means go after your GI tract and go after your kidneys and adrenals. Go after those, enhance, go up here if you have to, enhance anything, but get up upper circulation. Take brain and nerve while you're doing it. You'll love what it does to you. My forehead looks like it's swelling up a bit. Forehead looks like it's swelling up a bit like a balloon. No. Rich. But that's showing you that it is acidosis and inflammation. It's showing you right there. Because that swelling doesn't occur under base chemistry. It occurs under acid chemistry. So, that's not good. I don't want to see a balloon face, okay? So, Rich, hit that fruit, get them going. Get the bowels cleaned up, get on these herbs, GI brooms, all this. Get your kidneys filtering. Get this swelling out of the face. Not good. And this lad is only 21 years young. Not good. Got to fix this. My forehead used to be flat when I was younger, and my hairline is receding. How can I flatten my scalp back down? Thanks. Absolutely, Rich. You must do this. So, excuse me. Get the mucus out. That shows you activity does break stuff up, doesn't it? Anyway, Rich, you want to go to fruit, and just like we've been teaching here, fruit and berry and melon diet. That's what cleans you. That's what moves these acids out. That's what creates hydration. Why? Because dehydration is an acid experience. Ionization under the base guy creates hydration. And so that's what you're looking for. You want to hydrate, but you want to also move to a base dominance. With that said, the only sure way to systemically accomplish this is to get your kidneys filtering. Because if you don't, I don't know how you do this. You can sweat and sweat and sweat, but you really want to get the kidneys filtering, and then open this up. Candle your ears, and you can use hot and cold compresses, but that's just to kind of get things moving. You want a good cold and flu-like symptom, get your sinuses cleaned out, get your bowels cleaned up so everything can drain down, and you'll get your hair back. I guarantee, if I got a client that I'm not seeing hair growing back, then I've got a problem. And that's a problem for the client, because that's a given that your hair is coming back. That's a given. That's a given that your hair is coming back. Notice how chemo takes it off. Here's a classic example of hair loss. Chemo rips the hair follicles right out, but grows back, doesn't it? Well, when you're constantly having chemo on the brain, it can't grow back. So it just shows you chemo is an extreme acid. So just a non-extreme acid will take off the hairs. A Coca-Cola acid, which I call a non-extreme acid, but it is a 3pH. A 3pH acid will take off your hair. Chemo's about 1.5 to 2. That'll rip your hair off. Now, please forgive the long, detailed email, but I need you to take a peek into my life and understand the symptoms, because I need your help. All right? This individual is a 33-year-old female, mother of 2 busy children. I found you by accident, and I think you are a blessing. Oh, thanks, honey. Please help me with a very informative protocol on what detox teas and what mixes together and what don't, because I do get confused with so much info in such a little bit of time that I found you. Well, yeah, I tell you, just relax and back down a little bit. A lot of these videos are redundant in the sense that we're basically homing in on the human body's lymphatic system, a system that's been ignored by most practitioners, thought of by a few. Some of the awareness is known by many, but not to the extent that you're getting it here. The kidney involvement, the skin involvement, the fact that this is the inflammation of the body and what this does to the human body, things like that. The herb side, don't get confused. Understand the body's in systems. And your urinary tract system is hooked to the lymphatic system and actually is part of the lymphatic system. So when you say lymphatic system, I'm including kidneys and adrenal glands. I guess the urinary tract system, you could also, you could throw the bladder and whatever in that side of that. So we're addressing systems with herbs, because remember, herbs are not for diseases. God didn't create the concept of diseases, man did. It's like God didn't create the concept of religion, man did. Don't forget, guys, it wasn't that long ago that Jesus Christ was fighting religion because he didn't believe in religions. They were controlling people, and he believed in freedom. And so he talked against the religion of the day. Then they turn around and make a religion under his name. You see, it's this man's insecurities, unawarenesses, his lonelinesses that drives him to hide. Well, there's a point where you got to awake and realize that you don't have to be lonely. You're tied to everything on this planet. You are locked to everything. You can't run and hide from anything. And yet you're an individual and you're alone. And yet you're totally not alone. So these are little Zen things to think about, but you have to understand how it is. And you guys on this side have a lot of friends. And a lot of people coming and getting their health and everything back. So don't be too confused when it comes to the herbs. You have herbs for cells and you have herbs for fluids. We use the herbs for fluids for detoxing. Those are the lymphatic herbs, your circulatory herbs. And we use the herbs for the cells in terms of kidneys, bowels. A lot of the herbs for the colon and stuff are cleansing herbs, no question. But there's some enhancers. We use herbs for the liver gallbladder that enhance the function of. So the herbs enhances the function of cells, or they are cleansers. Because that's all that the body is. Diseases are concepts of medical thinking. The body works with chemistry in a cause and effect scenario. All life works bumps back and forth with cause and effect. And that's the way it is. And you just have to understand that on this planet, the Homo sapien, all the bodies on this planet have a base dominance. You can't live on this planet if you're an acidic creature too much, unless you live down deep in the waters, or you live on an acid planet. We can't live on an acid planet because we're base dominant beings. So acids destroy. They're corrosive. So this is why you see what you see. Okay, so let's get on. I'll make this our last one for the day, I think. I already know my body is acidic. I feel like it's a fungal infection issue. Well, I wouldn't say fungal infection, because infection is a loose term allopathically. Infection just means a pull of acidosis. So that's sewage. Fungus is just a single-celled organism that is involved in the breakdown of the carbon side of this. Fermentation. Fermentation and putrefaction, depending whether it's carbon or nitrogen-based foods, that's how they break down. That's how they go down to the atoms again so we can get more atoms. See, we have to keep turning things over here. That's why we eat too. It's a reason everything builds up and breaks down, builds up and breaks down, because atoms are shared and reused and reused and reused. You know, when you want to build a house, you just go down to the lumber company and you just buy new lumber, and maybe you have a block wall, you go order blocks, whatever your building materials are. But what people don't understand is building materials on this planet are atom-based, and atoms are already used up on this planet. Atoms are already being used, all of them. So to build something new, we have to use atoms from something that gave it up. I already know okay. Now, fungal infection. Last year, around the same time, I started smelling a certain smell come off my hair. Smell wind kind of sour. Yep. Sounds like a lot of fungus to me. Fermentation, big time. Yep, absolutely. After that, I started having menstruation issues, losing a lot of blood with really large blood clots. So what you're saying here, honey, is your pituitary's down and it's affecting your menses. And that, of course, can trip thyroid, parathyroid, and your other glands, too. But I'd check my pituitary. That'd be very, very important here. Luckily, I haven't had that every time. But fix this now. Fix this now. Get up in the head area, upper circuit, and nerve, and then start detoxing the head. Start moving the lymph system in the body. Other symptoms now include a swollen large intestine. Okay, so anytime you see something swollen, that's called hypertrophy, enlargement. Something that's swollen is edemic, meaning that there has been an osmotic move of water into a highly dense area. What is that telling you? These highly dense areas that you see osmotic pressures moving in there with the water is simply stagnation of lymph, creating a high acidic medium. Therefore, the body takes these measures to try to compensate, to deal with the stagnation and with this fact that it's acids. So whenever you see a swelling in any organ, any face or forehead, any tissue, heart, or whatever, then we know that you have hypertrophy. We know it's enlargement from edema. All right, so what side of chemistry causes edema? Again, the acid side, right? Okay, what system in your body deals with the acid side of chemistry? Not your blood, that leaves only one. That's the lymphatic system. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know these things. So those people that think you need to be degreed up your butt is gravely mistaken, because those people have the least amount of awareness. You want people that can sit back and look at things properly instead of getting mind lost in rhythms of shall we say, conditioned thought, trained by our school systems on people's thoughts out of books. On others people, most of what we believe in is simply other people's belief systems. We're nothing but stacks of belief system on top of belief system on top of belief system. That's what our education system is. It isn't an awareness system. It's a mental system. Mind training. So education just trains your mind academically to accept what our scientific community or others thought about things. But sometimes they're wrong. It's like Unearthed America, where you have that forensic, what's his name? Nice guy. He's a forensic geologist. And I love that guy. He's looking to prove, and they've already proved that not only what do I want to say, the Vikings, but the Europeans, the Mayans, they were already in America thousands of years before Columbus. So it's just, our history is a little jagged, and of course some governments only want you to read what they want you to read and the books they want you to read, and it just gets into that mess again. All right. My OB doctor said that I have a collapsed intestine. Your intestines go flat when there's nothing in them anyway, guys. Sorry. Come on. It's also hard to use a bathroom at times. It doesn't flow out like there's something in the way. Well, you could have a stricture. You could have a spastic bowel. You could have a prolapsed bowel. How are you going to tell that? The best way to tell that is not go through a barium enema and all that. The best way to tell that is get a picture of the eye pics. In class, we teach you how to tell you whether it's spastic, prolapsed, ballooned. We show you those things. And I wouldn't rely on my OB if you're really concerned. Do an endoscopy or colonoscopy, although there's risk there. But the eye shows all of that. I have had episodes. See, and if you're swelling, you're not only just swelling externally, you're swelling internally. Got to remember that. You're not just going to swell on the outside, you're going to swell on the inside as well. So that could collapse you as well. I have had episodes where half of my body would feel like it was numb. I would get like the shakes. My heart was beating irregular. Now it feels like I have swollen lymph nodes sometimes, and I get so stiff up in my neck into the back of my head, a lot of head pressure. Okay? So, we've been talking video after video on the lymphatic system, there's no question. So, we've been talking about head pressures. Sweetheart, you're right, you need help, and none of this is good, and you've got 2 children that came out of you. So they've got problems. So you really want to get a hold of your lymphatic system here. First of all, I would do upper circumbrain and nerve just to check for the shakes. If you're starting to get any shakes, take the antispasmodic with it to control any of that. But it feeds the myelin sheaths as well. At the same time, I'm going to the adrenals, enhanced neurotransmitters. The weaker the nervous system, the more spastic the nervous system. The stronger the nervous system, the more calm and peaceful you are, believe it or not. Now, the heart beating irregular, that could be thyroid, that could be all up in here, pituitary and all that stuff. You got to get up in here and start getting this drained out, get your sinuses cleaned up. To do that, you got to clean up your GI tract. Well, you're already swelling there, right? So where's the problem? In your kidneys and adrenal glands, same place. These are eliminative organs for all those symptoms you're talking about. And they're all linked to the same system here. Now, you might also think about parathyroid gland and your calcium utilization. That can cause some heart arrhythmias too. So you might want to think about the parathyroid as well. Now, the stiff neck and everything, guess what? Now, with all that stiffness, that's all acidosis, so what's up for grabs? C-spine. It just goes on and on and on. And the proof that's a lymph system, your lymph nodes are swollen. I mean, it's right there in your face. Just telling you right there what system you have down because your lymph nodes are swollen. That means your lymph's backed up. Well, all your symptoms are showing that, sweetheart. And the head pressure, Candle your ears, about 3 candles per ear, hot and cold compresses to the head, especially the back. Get those neurolymphatic points going down. Hunk on the bowels, hunk on the kidneys and adrenals. Get yourself moving. Because none of what you're saying here, in my opinion, is good at all. Mama with 2 babies, and your baby's lymph system's going to be yours, sweetheart. You got to clean them all up. Mama and babies on a health program. I had doctors persuade me to get an antacid type medicine, but after doing some research, I was able to get off of that after a month. I've asked my... What? Okay. I've asked my doctor for a referral to a GI doc. Hey, listen, honey, you're going to keep going to medical doctors and medical doctors and medical doctors, and I'm sure there's a ton of YouTubers out here who will tell you what you're going to end up finding every time. There's plenty of you guys out there that have been doc after doc after doc after doc. And when you guys tell me you've been out to naturopath after naturopath after naturopath, that's when I get sick. I understand medical doctors. They're studying something way bizarre, something that's their own thing. They live in their own little world. But naturopaths shouldn't. Naturopaths should never live in medical worlds. When you do, that's narcissism. And you don't want to go to that naturopath because they will do you no good whatsoever. Put you on a high-protein diet. He'll act like he's something and he's not, or she. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I went to the emergency numerous times within the past year, and nobody can give me any answers. And the reason they can't, sweetheart, is you don't have a tumor yet. You don't have things dense enough for x-rays to show off. These guys don't know how to explain inflammation and acidosis. You're going to the wrong people. They're not chemists. They don't have that background, so they don't understand. I mean, they're taught minor stuff, but they don't understand this. And the chemistry they're taught is ridiculous crap. So the poor guys, they don't know. They're taught these things. For those medical doctors that are struggling with this, come on over to our side. The weather's great. For you that are narcissistic, ride the karma. But you just have to change. We all have to change and learn a higher level of presenting ourselves and helping others. And you just have to do this. Going to one medical doctor to another, they're not their field. They don't have the answers for you, sweetheart. And if it isn't painfully obvious yet, what do you have to go through for it to be painfully obvious? And sometimes pain, really. They can get bad out there, and they can start doing some really wacky things to you that is not good. I've asked me, not knowing that I may not have needed a referral from him. I went to the emergency numerous times in the past year, no answers. Sometimes I get so scared that I'm having a heart attack or stroke. So listen, you might want to take the antispasmodic. I'd take the upper circumbrain and nerve if it was me. Then I'm heading after my endocrine glands. You got to head after your endocrine glands. Wait a minute, you got to head after your kidneys and your GI tract. See where I'm going? And they go all together. Don't play games. Get everybody on your team and the team go. And I'd include my little kids with it. I would put them on a fruit and berry and melon diet because, Mama, you need that. And so that's where you're going. You got to go fruit, berries, and melons, clean all this up, and your babies need to go right along with you. Because you need to stop this, and your kids are right up for the same thing you're having. Not good, sweetie. And she wrote letters to the children thanking them if she dies, basically. Oh, that's tearjerker. See how important it is that you guys are out there helping and involved? This world is a mess. And the medical doctors are part of the problem, not part of the solution. And pharmaceutical companies. We get rid of most of them and start getting into botanical companies, and medical doctors start learning the real way to heal. Then we'll all be on everybody's side. Everybody's expertise can come down and help. Everybody holds hands, shake hands, instead of chastising them. That's going to be a while. Going to be a while. More quickly into my background, I'm pretty awake, and spiritually I understand big pharma and all these crazies, the racketeering and the craziness. That's good. If I saved up enough money, I need to know how to heal myself step by step, and I need to know what word can be mixed together and what can't. You mean what, herbs? You said word. Herbs? I don't know. For instance, if I'm doing a full body detox, are other capsules allowed that you sell? Oh, yeah. I don't care. You know, I'll put it this way. For the most part, there are some antagonistic herbs to each other. We don't have those, I hope. But herbs pretty much like each other. They each are individuals, but they're part of the clan. So that's not really a problem. I have very few antagonistic things with that. See here what you said. You could add almost anything to them. More herbs. You can mix Ayurvedic with American. It don't matter. I don't care. I love herbs. So I don't care how many you're on. Just keep in mind, Eileen Lang, the only short little thing. Most of you know her as Shania Twain. Her real name is Eileen Lang. Well, it's not Lang anymore. But she did 23 formulas at one time. 23. I only put people on about, well, when I'm going after different things, it can be 7 or 9 basic. And then if I'm going after something else, it might go up from there, and I might be able to cut down. I kind of have a reverse pyramid. I hit you hard at first, and I start taking you off when I don't need it, off until I'm down to barely the BAB 4. And when I know everything's good, you're off of those and you're done. So I have a reverse pyramid, and I believe in that. Hit it hard first and wean down as you get better. If you do the other way, good luck. You'll be healing slowly. Your tumors will still be growing. Your lymph nodes will be getting harder. Go after this. Don't sit there and monkey around. For instance, if I'm doing it, okay, forgive me because I'm very new at this. Well, that's okay. That's the fun part of this. Make this fun. Don't be challenged with it. It's fun. These are your goodies. These are candies. These are the candy store for wellness. This is the herbal pharmacopoeia of God. They want to hug you and kiss you. Most of them bear flowers to show you how much they love. So you put your arms around them because these babies know how to do it. If you think they're not strong, think again. Herbs are extremely strong. I'm very new at this, don't have a lot of money, so if I'm going to spend a lot, I don't want to waste it, and I don't blame you, so get focused. Take a look at our 14-week protocol, all right, online. Look at the herbs in there, and that's the focus. If you want to make it cheaper and cut down, use 1 kidney and 1 lymphatic instead of 2. You can save a little there, but those kidneys I'm pretty like too, but you can save there. You know, you can save more after you hit it, because when you first hit it, you want to deworm yourself too. You want to get the liver, you want to deworm yourself, you want to go after some things. So you always have a few more herbs in the beginning, but as you start taking care of things, throw them off, get them up. You're done with this one, you're done with this one. See? But know your focus. That's what I'm saying. Don't take herbs or supplements randomly. Don't take them for symptoms. Know your focus. Know the body's in systems and know what you're going after in the body. Why does the body suffer? Why do you damage cells? Why do things swell? Why is there inflammation? Why is there pain? All these videos are about that. All about, remember, there's only 2 sides of chemistry. 2! You can't get simpler than that. When your multiple choice question is 1 of 2, I seriously love you to death. I love you too, honey. You know, you'll be fine, but get yourself working on this because you've got 2 little girls or 2 children we have to take care of, and you don't want to have any problems because our society here is grabbing jurisdiction over the children, of course, and the family services is totally out of control, and it's just it's not good to what they're doing with the kids. So, you know, if you've seen that interview with a 17-year-old, the Supreme Court of Connecticut forced a chemo and how they did it, surrounding her house with cop cars, taking her like we're in a police state. Oh my God, this planet is so starving for spirituality, so starving for love and awareness, and we just keep mind tripping. And the more we mature the mind, the worse this is going to get. You've got to start maturing your awareness, not your mind. You can only learn so much, you can only cram so much, and then you start accentuating your ego. And now we have narcissistic elitists everywhere in our society. You know, the politicians, the doctors, the lawyers. Holy crap, they all have their own language. No one speaks common language anymore. That's so we can get you. It's like, what? So this planet is in a gnarly way, and, you know, some feel that it has to implode a little bit first. And it probably does. But it's funny, you can take a person full of hate and anger, detox them, get them on raw foods, and totally turn them around. That last prison study showed that really, really well. And I've always wanted to get in prisons and school lunches, you know. All right. Recommend you to anyone. Oh, thanks, sweetie. You're a good person, honey. Also, I need something safe that I can give my kids to help keep their bodies clean. Like, oh, absolutely. Well, let me tell you something. You ought to all know that I'm a God man. So I would never recommend or tell you anything that wasn't safe. I would never do that because that would be karma for me. And where would that take me? Please forgive the long detailed email, but I need you to take a peek. Okay, I already did that. Oh, good. Okay. Okay, we did it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, sweetheart, just remember, don't make things too confusing, too hard, because things are easier than that. Things are not difficult. There's only 2 sides of chemistry. Your body's made of roughly 40 trillion, okay, or 40 to 100 trillion cells. You got cells and 2 fluids. 2 fluids take care of the cells. 1 fluid is the blood that feeds them, and the sewer fluids dominate the body, which is 80% of that fluids. That's quite a bit. And, of course, your kidneys are tied to that system, and adrenal glands. And that's the system of the lymph nodes and all that. That's the system of swelling, inflammation, acidosis, C-reactive proteins, homocysteine. I mean, you just keep on going down those roads that all tell you that this is the system that's involved. Acids are involved. Inflammation is involved, which is the kickback from acids and proteins. And just by changing your diet to the diet that matches your physiology, which is more primate-ish diet, I don't care if you have some vegetables in there, you're going to do a whole lot better. And you use the herbs which God put on here for our healings to get into the body and fix some organs and glands that we beat up by the chemistry we've been eating. Interestingly so. Maybe I have time for another one. One's physical body and spiritual experience are intimately connected. When one achieves clean eyes, does Christ consciousness naturally occur, or is it simply made easier? Are yoga, meditation, and breathing exercises required to achieve Christ consciousness? Thank you for that. Love and hugs to you too, my dear one. All right. One's physical body and spiritual experience are intimately connected. Well, absolutely. If you looked at everything, everything is a spiritual experience. Depends how you look at it. You can't separate one moment from another. Spiritual experience is really just a more awakened experience, though. We like to donate that word spirituality for more of an awakened individual, that can get out of the mind a little bit and look around and go, oh, I can see so much more than chasing thoughts. Every time I chase a thought, I lose my ability to see, because I'm chasing a thought and I'm not observing the whole. It's that simple. That simple. Take you right into God consciousness. The first step to God consciousness is Christ consciousness. And you don't have to have a pure body. You don't have to have any of that to have it. But it is rare for people to have that here. I've noticed that. And maybe I was blessed to have that experience, and I don't know, I just felt it was part of the unfoldment I was doing. Because when you get to the mind and you start letting go of thought, you will have that experience. As you start to let go of thought and pull into the oneness, your spiritual guide would not be nice. If not, maybe you want to get one of the Ek masters, because those guys seem to have that ability. Whew. But pull you up to that level and show you that level. I don't mean to pull you up to it, because that's a wrong way of looking at it. Just being awake to that. Because if you change your perspective, most people look up from the physical world to what they assume is God in the heavens. That just breeds separation. And that always keeps you separate from God. And God isn't up in the heavens. It's omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, meaning it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And it infiltrates everything and everywhere. It infiltrates the air you breathe. It's intelligent. Everything is intelligent. It's hard to believe that. And the only way to get that, you can't believe it. You can only experience it. See, beliefs only take you into the mental worlds. That's why I'm saying these people that talk about degrees and stuff, they can't believe unless they have degrees. It's like, give me a break. Get out of your mind riding, because that just takes you into nowhere land. Plenty of degreed people that don't know their butt from a hole in the ground and get you in trouble. You want to start taking the reins of your cars, of your bodies, and start asking questions, asking what the side effects and things are, and start looking more at maybe the way God intended things to be made instead of the way man intended things to be done. Big difference, right? So, now, you don't have to be that healthy. Healthier, the better. Absolutely, the better. I think those that are cleaning themselves out, because I talk to a lot of you guys that are on Raw, and when you come to my classes, and definitely the spirituality is blossoming. So, yeah, foods in one way can hold you down. There's no question to that. They can hold you down to more earthly thoughts. Some foods can make your mind take off running. Some foods activate the gonadals, things like that. Give you that more grunt, like meats, give you that more grunt, animalistic type of thing. But as you eat higher into the fruits and the berries, you start seeing life higher. So you're right in that way. Foods can hold you down. Don't have to, because that's not you. That's the energy you're putting into your body. Your awareness. You're only pulled into your body by your attention, and you're only accepting that. When you decide to change your attention, then you leave this field of action, and now over here's your field of action. That's creation. Oh no, I'm over here now. This is my new field of action. When you want God consciousness, you quit looking in these different fields of action. You pull back from them all. That's true meditation or contemplation. You pull back from them all because you don't have to meditate. You're already that which is. You don't have to meditate to get to yourself. You already are yourself. You simply have to learn to stop thinking. And it only takes practice. As you practice thinking, thou shalt practice not thinking. Sounds wild, and to give the academics a run for their money. But it breeds awareness, and that is everything to survival. Unawareness, mind chasers, thought chasers, they don't know. They can't tie anything together because you don't have an overview. You lose your overview, then you lose truth. Because same thing as biochemistry. If you don't have an overview with biochemistry, you lose. And biochemistry doesn't have an overview. So it's so disjointed. So pull a book on chemistry or biochemistry, and I'll be amazed if the first introduction doesn't say, "Welcome to the world of immense theories." So when someone says that to me about academics and that we're looking at chemistry in the world of theories, I don't know what to say to you. But you want that Christ consciousness or cosmic consciousness. The yogis call it cosmic consciousness, and Christians call it Christ consciousness. But it is a state of a oneness that is so nirvanic, I can't even tell you, I can't even describe it. And it's just that everything in you become one again. You just become one, but you still have your individuality. That's the one perception you still have. And that's the separation between the universal mind experience and a pure soul experience. It just, I'll get more spirituality as I go on, but I love that the most. I was telling the guys in class, because the last day in the afternoon, we always have spiritual classes. At all my seminars, the last afternoon is always spiritual. Sometimes I try to get in some channels, some beings, and talk about it, and sometimes we're just rapping about things just like this. And that it's just a part of this is very much you are very much a part of your experience, wouldn't you say? And that's what you have to get to know. Some people are so afraid to be alone. You never want to be afraid of being alone. That can make you do things to lock you in here for lifetimes. You want to spend time and accept the fact of your aloneness and the beauty of your individuality. And when you hit that, it's nirvanic. And you finally have reached the point that you feel you should reach in this dimension. But now you're time to go to highers, because this dimension has nothing for you anymore. Yahoo! Good question. Maybe we should end on that. As a matter of fact, we will. All right, so we'll end on that. I love you guys. Thank you so much for always watching these videos. Some of you are loves. I can't believe that you spend so many hours watching these videos. But I thank you immensely, and take care of yourselves. Don't make it difficult. Keep your life simple. And the road to Wellville, simple. You might have some ups and downs and healing crisis. All the swelling of lymph nodes and faces, get that out. This is not good symptomology. And it's all acidosis and lymph. So have fun. I love you guys. To the next video. Or to the next class, which we have a level 1 coming up. This is going to be a long level 1. It's 5 days again. My old ones used to be 5 days. Now we're going to have a little more chemistry in this one, but I'm going to make sure you're protocoled to where you know exactly what protocol you're going to use on a specific case. Thank you. Have fun.